Hello and welcome to another update video about Avalanche AVAX. I think I did one before, and I've been doing a few AVA videos, Travala before, and people always say, no, don't do AVA, do AVAX. So yeah, okay. I do it because it's looking really good at the moment on the chart, in my opinion. So what we have here, obviously, we've come down from this low here in July, which was a really low price compared to where we are now, around $9. So we've made quite a bit of profit since whoever was in there, of course. I didn't buy back then, unfortunately. So we are now actually at around 550% profit. So that's not bad, but I think there might be potential for further price increases, also from a technical point of view. So first of all, let's just talk about potential short-term price targets. So we start here at the low, the beginning of that major wave to the upside here. We've got the Fibonacci extension levels on here. First of all, we've just retraced back to the $55 level. Now that is just above the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement level. Yeah, so based on the Fibonacci retracement levels, we could even come down further. We could even come down to the 0.5. That would not be anything unusual. That would be at around $45. However, I don't think we will, but we could. I don't think we will because we seem to find support here at this ascending trend line at the moment. Before we take a closer look at that, I want to talk about my, well, just price targets based on the Fibonacci extension levels. The next one certainly, because we already were at $80. So it's a nice retracement now. In my view, potentially good price to get in. And I'll think about it. Not sure yet, but I think about it. And again, no financial advice, but the chart is looking good. I like to wait for these pullbacks to trend lines to get into a trade. Yep, I would like to see confirmation that we're extending away from that trend line again, but it's looking good. I like this when we come back to these trend lines. No point buying here. Better to buy here when when you can identify this trend line, which we had on the chart already from the last video. It's always good to wait for that, because then your the potential reward is just much higher. Now the next key level is the 1.272 extension level, which is pretty much $100. So that comes quite handy, because that's pretty clear that we'll get there in my view. It's also a psychological level, and it's the next one which is coming. After that, we've got $125 at the 1.618. Now these are two that are definitely achievable in the not too distant future, in my opinion. And then we've got $150. So very nice and round numbers here. And after that, we've got $195. So I would say $200. So let me take this off. So we've got a better view of the chart. Now, as I said, this is a 4-hour chart. We've come back to this trend line. We have unfortunately dropped below the 50-day moving average and below the 20. These two lines here. The 20-day moving average is the line here, which is higher. And then we've dropped below the 50 as well, which is the blue line here. However, we're still above this ascending trend line, and that is powerful because we're moving into an apex here of a triangle. You have this downtrending line and this uptrending line, and they're forming an apex here. That apex is on the 21st of October. You never know if you really wait until that apex, but it's certainly very likely that we're going to break out here very, very soon. And in my view, that should be to the upside, because in the end we are still above the 200-day moving average. We are in an uptrend. You can clearly see that we're in an uptrend. We have this long ascending trend line, so that's all looking good. And if we take a look on the weekly chart, the chart isn't that long, to be fair, but this also shows you why we had to retrace here, because on the weekly you can see that we have been for a few weeks, actually since August, we've been in the overbought range. So it became clear that we had to retrace, and now a couple of weeks ago we came back below the overbought range. Now that's looking good. We are in an uptrend here on the weekly, so the longer term perspective clearly shows us that we are in an uptrend. Also the MACD is all looking good. Yeah, it's dropping a little bit, but we are here in the green range, and also on the ADX we see this trend is actually going even higher. And yeah, we've just come out of the overbought range, which indicates that we have now again a little bit of scope to the upside. So that's all looking okay. And on the daily, looking a bit different here, we have even more scope to the upside. We've actually come back in below the 50 line in the slightly bearish range. And we have, whoops, didn't want to do that. Let me just move that out of the way. Again, here as well, we have a potential buy signal coming when the white line is crossing the 20 line. that indicates here on the daily that we're getting into an uptrend. Yeah, so from at the 20 line, that is normally a buy signal. Also here it could be that the downtrend of the MACD is it's slowing down, and we could see a reversal here. So that might be another buy signal, but it's not happened yet, and we don't see it coming clearly. But overall, just because of the structure of that chart, that we have this pullback back to that trend line, it's just a clear explanation why we are currently seeing some of these indicators being a little bit on the negative side, just because we had this retracement, this strong retracement after the move to the upside. So what I want to see is a breakout here out of that pattern. That's the important thing for me, not necessarily the indicators. For me, important is that we are above the moving averages, and we are on the weekly, especially, and above the 200-day moving average as well. Not necessarily a problem if we break for a short period below the 50-day moving average, especially not after such a retracement, which is normal. And we are finding support here on that trend line. So if we lose support here, yes, I think then we can drop possibly to the 200-day moving average. That is also that previous low here at around $30. Now, I don't think that is going to happen very easily, but we just need to be prepared. If we lose that, we could drop quite far. Yeah, we could drop actually from the current level to, let's say, $30. That would be a loss of around 35%. At the moment, however, it's looking good with this ascending trend line, and I would want to wait until we break this line here to the upside, and that would then potentially be a really good trade entry. Yeah, I gave you the key target levels. That's pretty much it. I am very bullish on AVAX going forward, and what you see here is just the daily, the noise that is just happening, the ups and downs, but overall the trend is going up, and I think it's got a lot of potential for another 2x, certainly 3x, maybe even 4x this year. So yeah, hopefully you liked the video. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe as well if you really like the content. I hope I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.